I also want to quote something that I found in an article on your website. It says this: the protection of persecuted Christians is not at the summit of the Canadian government's priorities. This was glaringly obvious to me as I attended the Summit on International Religious Freedom. Sadly, Canada was missing in action. No high-level government representative was in sight. That was from an article that was on your website. My question, I have a serious question about that. I'm concerned that even though there are many persecuted Christians around the world, Syria, for example, has many, relatively few Christians are immigrating to Canada. Do you have any thoughts as to why this may be?
One article that I often refer to, and there's not a whole lot of data points out there, and I think that's purposely done. In 2016, the Wall Street Journal published an article that looked at the 12,000, and granted, it's a bit dated, but again, it's a very limited data set. They looked at the 12,800 Syrian refugees that were resettled to the United States under President Obama. And what the reporter looked at is they found that less than 0.5% of those that were resettled were Christian, despite the fact that the Christians represented 10% of the Syria's pre-war population, despite the fact that genocide had been committed against them. So there was a significant underrepresentation that was taking place. And the reporter did kind of look at the root causes, and they did indicate that there was a number of causes for this, but the key cause was placed at the feet of the UNHCR. So the U.S., as does Canada, relies upon the UNHCR to refer refugees to them. So my reading into that is that there is a problem with their referral program. And so what I would urge Parliament and this committee to take back to Parliament is that a study analysis be done. Transparency is required of the UNHCR to ensure that they are fairly representing all the persecuted religious minorities, Christian, Yazidi, and Ahmadiyya Muslims in Pakistan, that they're all being fairly and adequately represented in the GAR programs.